Today is a day specifically set aside to salute our veterans. And with that in mind, Jimmy, you're going to share a poem that was written by an unknown author?
Yes. Please, whatever you're doing right now, take just a second to listen to this. It says it from the very beginning. To understand a military veteran, you must know we left home as teenagers or in our early 20s for an unknown adventure. We loved our country enough to defend it and protect it with our own lives. We said goodbye to friends and family and everything we knew. We learned the basics and then we scattered in the wind to the far corners of the earth. We found new friends, new family. We became brothers and sisters regardless of color, race, or creed. We had plenty of good times.
I don't care how long it's been or where you've been in between, because when you're in a Huey, you're home.
And plenty of bad times.
As you went through your training, you then became aware of the fact that maybe you were going to die, that maybe you had to kill someone.
We didn't get enough sleep. We smoked and drank too much. We picked up both good and bad habits. We worked hard and played harder. We didn't earn a great wage. We experienced the happiness of mail call and the sadness of missing important events. We didn't know when or even if we were ever going to see home again. We grew up fast, and yet somehow we never grew up at all. We fought for our freedom as well as the freedom of others. Some of us saw actual combat, some of us didn't. Some of us saw the world, some of us didn't. Some of us dealt with physical warfare, most of us dealt with psychological warfare. We have seen and experienced and dealt with things that we can't fully describe or explain, as not all of our sacrifices were physical. We participated in time-honored ceremonies and rituals with each other, strengthening our bonds and camaraderie. We counted on each other to get our job done and sometimes to survive it at all. We've dealt with victory and tragedy. We have celebrated and mourned. We lost a few along the way. When our adventure was over, some of us went back home.
Good to be home.
Some of us started somewhere new. Some of us never came home at all. We share an unspoken bond with each other that most people don't experience and few will understand. We speak highly of our own branch of service and poke fun at the other branches. We know, however, that if needed, we will be there for our brothers and sisters and stand together as one in a heartbeat. Being a veteran is something that had to be earned, and it can never be taken away. It has no monetary value, but at the same time, it's a priceless gift. People see a veteran and they thank them for their service. When we see each other, we give that little upwards head nod or a slight smile, knowing that we have shared and experienced things that most people have not. So from myself to the rest of the veterans out there, I commend and thank you for all that you have done and sacrificed for your country. Try to remember the good times and make peace with the bad times. Share your stories, but most importantly, stand tall and proud, for you have earned the right to be called a veteran. And this unknown author ends it with, I'm a veteran. And to you on this Veterans Day, we dedicate this All That Is Good.
And I asked them if we could come and surprise them, and they made it happen.
You had three things that were important. One was God, one was country, another was family.
Really, as growing up, I didn't think there was any other thing to do than serve my country.
And when we got in the open field, they had a German tank set camouflaged, and they started shooting direct tank fire at the ground. Only 8 of us got back. I looked out for the man up above. I prayed many times, I'm not going to lie to you.
My grandfather really instilled in me a patriotism, a love of country that I think came out when I was in high school, and that's when I decided that the military was definitely for me.
I just kind of gravitated that direction. I just felt like it was also something a young man should do. Put his time in, serve his country.
I was wounded, matter of fact, to the hospital in 9K, Stayed there for 2 weeks, and after that I was patched up, I went right back to the field.
I was a captain when I got out of the Army.
When we stepped into this today, how did it make you feel?
Like I put on a pair of old shoes.
I consider myself a patriot. And I'm proud of my service, what I've done. And I did my best that I could. And hope that in the final days, that's what they'll say.